Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present, and future. I am Gaia, the soul progression therapist, and we are back with another Monday mantra lesson just for you. Now, you being here means that you're taking personal responsibility for your healing journey, for understanding how you are awakening, what the guides want you to apply the Monday mantras to in your life, whether you're in alignment, awareness of whether you're not in alignment, whether you're paying attention to the signs. It's all a bit curious, and I love the curiosity of what comes through for me because it gives us something to think about. It gives us some sort of purpose, some sort of guidance, something to come back to. I always take such great pleasure coming and sitting with you, just being myself here and chatting with you about what they're asking us to think about. So let's get into it and see what we need to focus on for this Monday mantra. If you're called to go deeper after this Monday mantra, know that my mission doesn't just stop here. We have built this beautiful community on our app, and by going to your app stores and searching Soul 33, you can be a part of that community. There's weekly homework, there are meditations, there are the digital oracle cards. There's so much there to support you on your soul progression journey. And if you need any other services, don't forget to contact Kieran at soul33@gmail.com. I love a bit of spice in my life and enjoyed a delicious vegetarian curry laksa from the Malaysian place, and of course added extra jalapenos and took my own broccoli sprouts for some extra nourishment. Now, on the day of the solstice over the weekend, I was feeling very heavy and I was guided to make some cacao, and I don't do this nearly as often as I would like to. And when I was in Peru, I was told that, cacao traditionally is made with just water, a little bit of cayenne pepper. So, it's not mixed with milk and all those kind of things, which can make it more decadent. So I made it traditionally, which was just water with cacao buttons and a pinch of cayenne pepper. And on the top, I did sprinkle some extra cacao powder because I felt like it. I still wanted a sweet treat because cacao in its natural form is not sweet at all. So I had a date with this delicious chocolate that has got different forms of mushroom infused in it with organic peanut butter and some sea salt. And then I sat and opened up my heart. I pulled myself a couple of cards and really sat for a moment, thinking about what this feeling was that I was feeling. We've got bread. Lucy said it was freshly baked this morning, correct?
It was.
And so what's the analysis?
She's a goodie. I think we've just nailed it now. And they're a little bit crisp on top. But
looks great.
beautiful. Smells so good.
It actually really does. Your bread, I didn't eat bread for years. But
Yeah, you didn't.
But your bread, being sourdough and freshly made with love, doesn't impact me.
Exactly.
Well done.
I'm just going to keep taking them. You can't move that fast. Okay, do another burst. Just slightly slower movements. Okay. Ready? Wait, I didn't get your whole hands in for that one.
Okay, before I get into this Monday mantra, I don't want to forget this, but you are not going to get a video or audio Monday mantra next week. We are having a catch-up week, and also Lucy is going for a minor surgery, and so we will be back to regular programming the week after. So next week, there is no video or audio Monday mantra. You will receive the written Monday mantra on the app, the full written one. Your screensaver, all of those things will be there on the app, but no video or audio Monday mantra. So I suggest take the time to go back to some of the Monday mantras and really listen to go, oh, that's what I needed to hear now. I listened to it then, but now it makes sense to me. And so it's a catch-up week next week. Okay, this week's Monday mantra, let's have a look. I trust my choices above outside opinions. I am free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. We have got a full moon that is starting off this week. We have got Mercury retrograde also starting off this week. And there's a lot to consider and think about. So last week we pulled a Mercursha card. This week, and it was the Star of Destiny, which really, it came up in the message that I channeled through and put on social media with that little child. But they were asking us to look up, and it was look up at the star. And I thought that was really fascinating because I was going through last week and I saw a lot of inner child things coming up, and also just having to follow your northern star. You know, I saw that for me as well. So this week, we're going to pull from the Soul Progression Oracle cards. These are available on the app as a digital set. You can shuffle, you can ask, you can listen to the recorded message, you can analyze and interpret the message on the cards, the number, the image, all of those things. But for today, we're going to ask the Soul Progression Oracle in relation to, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I'm meant to be. So let's shuffle the Soul Progression Oracle cards and ask, what do we need to know in relation to the Monday mantra for this week? I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I'm meant to be. Here we go. I knew this card was going to come out of the pack. Back yourself. And the back yourself card is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me back to exactly where I'm meant to be. So this gentleman is backing himself, which is, I'm choosing what I want. He has succeeded. He is at the top of his mountain, and he would have had detours. He would have slipped. He would have fallen, but he still got there anyway. He's exactly where he is meant to be. So I love that this card, I knew this card was going to come out of the pack. So this card has come out, which is perfectly in alignment with the Monday mantra. Okay. Now, when Mercury goes into retrograde, whether you believe this or not, it's still an interesting thing to consider when you're going through the week, because how we're communicating is always important. So while this particular focus is here, let's consider and ponder that the theme of communication has been coming up so much. And I was clearing my throat so much before coming on to record this that I was thinking, okay, this is going to be interesting and frustrating. But it's because they were preparing me to send out the signal to you that our voices are being heightened. We also have this powerful full moon in Capricorn on the 29th as well. And alongside Jupiter entering Leo, it's a week of significant shifts, insights, and new beginnings. So last week, our thumbnail up here, this is your vision quest. And I had a week, very internal week, kind of just protecting myself and paying attention to what was going on. And this vision quest energy is still here, because remember, the Monday mantras are not just for the week, they're for you to apply, they're lessons for you to learn and understand and consider and ponder. And, with this particular thumbnail, there's the fire that's burning, that the Great Spirit is coming out, showing us what we need to see. And how this transitions to this week's Monday mantra is when we look at this week's thumbnail, I used the word that Spirit told me to use before. You are receiving a signal. You are receiving a signal. Now, this is interesting because when we think of a sign, we think, okay, we're going to see something. And I saw lots of signs last week for myself and heard lots of messages from other people around me that were for me. But a signal is you are really being kind of summoned in a way. You are receiving a signal that is, this is the time. This is the time to back yourself and make a choice. Because with a signal, it's like at a traffic light, for example. We know at green to go, at orange it's to slow down and come to a halt, red it's to stop. But I'm also talking about like radio wave frequency signals. If there's a signal now through the universe that is being transmitted to us. Now, the reason why I put the wave is because I've been having tsunami dreams pretty much every night. And within the wave, there has been all these symbols. And we've thrown in some symbols here on the thumbnail for you to just look at and see how you want to interpret them. They're ones we've been talking about. A couple of them we haven't. And the one I'm looking at is the sickle. The sickle. And I just feel like this is this Neptune watery upheaval of I'm making my choice and I don't care what the other outside opinions are. I'm free to choose my own path. I'm free to back myself. So this week, there may be some decisions to make and we have options available to us. Just like in that ocean, in the tsunami, there are oceans. Just like in that tsunami, there are symbols and signs that are coming to us to choose. And these decisions that you might be making are around what you want to be responsible for. So that's interesting, isn't it? Because with every choice, there is a responsibility. And the responsibility can be towards people you need to look after, or is it just looking after yourself, backing yourself? And I'm coming back to the meaning of the sickle, because that's what I put that in there. And I wasn't sure why I put it into the thumbnail. But the sickle is about cause and effect, what you harvest and what you have cultivated. So spiritually, it can be about gathering what you need to and want to gather, but also to harvest. Some things need to be cut down. And so the sickle is about discerning. There's abundance there, but it's about timing. And I just find this really interesting because I trust my choices above outside opinion. So where are you getting outside opinions on what you should be doing or could be doing? Or this is something that they're asking you to discern. Sometimes we get messages from other people. They don't even know that you're passing them a message. We don't even know we're passing them a message, or we don't know we're receiving a message. But it's going to signal us to move. So you might hear something from somebody and it's their life and their story. So it's not necessarily an opinion for you, but it's signaling you to move. Interesting that's coming through, but also that word responsibility is coming through as well. So with the options that are coming up in our lives, it's time to narrow them down. Choose an option that involves only yourself. I didn't realize I wrote this. So that independence, what are you responsible for? Without the input of others around you. Stand alone and stand strong, just like this gentleman standing on his mountain. With the full moon, it's shining its light and working on what is not light. Okay, so Because Capricorn is usually associated with like goals and ambitions and responsibilities and structures. But because we're also in Mercury retrograde, it's not about starting things new. It's just like, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing that. This is just what I want. I'm going to be responsible for me. I'm going to be independent on me. And so the light that is shining on what is working and what is not is what we are focusing on. With this particular lunation, there is realization about the direction you're heading. You may be asked to release an old way of doing things so that you create a stronger foundation for the future. And with Mercury retrograde in Cancer on the same day that all this, full moon is coming up, which can be a big release. This is why I've been having tsunami dreams. It's always a big emotional release for me. It's encouraging this revisit of our emotional world, our past, our family dynamics, and the conversations we've been avoiding. We talked about walking on eggshells last week and the relationship energy. And I definitely experienced that a little bit in my own life, having to say what I needed to say. And when we are not rushing forward blindly, we're having the time to actually consciously choose. So instead, it's an opportunity to reflect, review, and reconnect with what really matters to your heart. Pay attention to memories, dreams, and reoccurring thoughts as they may hold important messages and guidance. There is wisdom for you, and the divine feminine has the ability to create for herself. So this is why the Great Spirit was a female that came through last week, and we've been talking about the goddess awakening. There is regeneration taking place. Spirit's telling me somewhere's going to experience an earthquake soon, so I'm just letting you know this. Someone watching. This regeneration is bringing new light and hope. So we're encouraged to go after our goals and revisit what we want to advance and develop in our lives, but doing it from a place of emotional truth and awareness. So adding this powerful energy of beginning a new cycle of confidence and creativity and self-expression. It's heart-centered leadership. You are leading yourself in your own independence. And Jupiter expands whatever it touches. And with Leo, it asks us to stop hiding our gifts, whatever our gifts are, to trust our talents and allow ourselves to be seen. And this energy reminds us that we're here to shine in our own unique way and lead from that place of authenticity rather than fear. And so this message is not to let outsiders influence your direction. Really important message, not to let outsiders influence your direction. And that can be a really hard thing sometimes because we do care about what people think, especially when they're close to us. But Spirit is really saying that whatever has fallen apart, allow it to just remain that way and see what choices come out of those ruins of that remain. And with the full moon, it's like something has reached its natural conclusion, it's done, and this is what, when you look at a ruin, because a ruin is what's coming out of my mouth right now, it might look like just a pile of rubble and some beautiful structure was there before, but there are treasures in there. There are treasures in there. And so Mercury in retrograde is looking at the rebuilding of what is remaining with the treasures in there. Keep your dreams growing, fueled by your inner strength and a deeper recognition of your own power. The moon will be giving you insights into what you want to create. Freedom is the theme of the week. Freedom of who you are, the way you want to choose to be. And there may be divine detours. You might have been thinking you're going down this. I thought I was going to go this way, but actually this way. And it's not a bad thing. I don't feel like these detours are bad things. I think it's like unexpected, like, wow, I didn't know that was going to happen now. And these encounters are coming up your way. New people, situations, or experiences that feel familiar, but a new way of doing it. Mercury may be bringing in reconnections or reminders from the past, while Jupiter encourages you to recognize how far you have come and where your soul is ready to expand next. So be brave and honest with your approach this week. trust yourself, back yourself, trust the process, and allow your inner wisdom to guide your next steps. Because this week of releasing with the full moon, and that's already started happening the week before, to be able to, have our vision quest. Now these signals, like little antennas, are going, we are calling in the choices of what we have been putting out there, the signal. And we're stepping courageously into a new chapter of self-expression, purpose, and possibility. Now, before I go into the relationship breakdowns, I'm going to pick a card from this particular card set because it's got lots of interesting symbols to interpret on here for us. And we're going to ask these cards, with what we've talked about so far, with the back yourself card, with the choices, with the responsibilities, with the sickle and all the other symbols within that wave, like, what are we going to pick? What do you need to say to us? What's the next thing that we need to know before we move in through the breakdowns of forecasts? Let's have a look. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to show you this card if you're watching the screen. It is a door, it's a stairway that splits into two. So it's one stairway going up, but it splits into two. Both the doors are open. One door is going into the night, like twilight, and one door is going into the day. And Spirit is saying, by us looking at this particular card, there is no wrong choice. There is no wrong choice. Both is going to get you where you are meant to be. You are going to be held and held up, elevated, apparently. And I love this because it goes so well with the back yourself and the choices. You're going to end up where you want to be, but it might not be in the way that you thought. It might be sooner than you thought. It might be longer than you thought, but you're going to end up there. Love that came up. Okay, let's have a look at our forecast breakdown. So our relationship energies at play this week, remembering our Monday mantra is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I am free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. In your relationships this week, you are encouraged to look beyond the surface and connect with the deeper spiritual purpose of your connections before making further commitments. Take the time to reflect on why certain people have entered your life and what their soul role may be within your journey. So if someone has brought somebody to you and you're going, why has this person brought this person to me? Why am I being exposed to this person or connected with this person? It might not actually be about that person. It is the connection. It's like they're leading you to somebody else or something else. So what is the soul role within your journey? And with Mercury retrograde, of course, with the full moon, emotional patterns are going to come up. Memories, past memories also going to surface. And rather than rushing into decisions, because this week is about choice, use this time to review and reflect what is going on in your relationships. Why is this person playing a soul role in my life? What have your relationships taught you? This is a question to ask whoever you're relating to. What emotional needs are asking to be acknowledged? There is wisdom to be gained by observing before acting. A period of rest, reflection, and stepping back from relationship pressures just to ask, is this a choice I am making to connect consciously with this person, and why? Allow yourself the space to listen to your own inner knowing rather than seeking validation from others. And with the full moon, you may be shown where relationships are aligned for the long-term goals and values that you share, that you are choosing, and where it's not. And you may gain insight into the connections that support your growth, which is the people that are, we don't want the naysayers, we want the people that are supporting us, unless it's a constructive criticism. But it's really interesting. I have been watching the show Landman and absolutely loved it with Billy Bob Thornton. Now, please, if there's issues with Billy Bob Thornton, I'm not talking about his personal perspectives or his political views. I'm merely talking about the artist and the show, which I've really enjoyed. And so that led me to find out a little bit more about Billy Bob. Obviously, he's a very well-known actor. And so I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast with him. Now, where this is leading to is that we've been talking about jealousy, and we've been talking about people wanting to bring you down. And like, the week that we had the vermin come up in the cards, and Spirit said whatever they said about not letting, people eat away at you and all of those things. I found it interesting that two men were talking about jealousy in their way, Billy Bob and Joe, where people are trying to take digs at you, looking at you and assuming that you have everything or you're lucky or whatever. And we had the horseshoe come, and there is luck on our side. But luck is not blind always. Luck has been cultivated through the choices that you make. And so I found it fascinating that they were talking about that. It was an older interview from a year ago, but everything comes to us at the right time. And so I was listening to that thinking, Billy Bob's response to haters or people that dig at him, he'll be like, how about you come back when you've got something better to say? Or he's responding in a strong way because the man is now 70 and is ready to assert those boundaries. And so I just felt like saying this to you because, these long-term goals where you want to be aligned with the people around you is going to be coming up, and where it's closing, it's going to be a completion. And with this full moon, relationships are maturing. Sometimes we know when things come to a maturation, they're ready to be closed off. But sometimes maturing means there's more depth, there's more connection. And it's encouraging this maturity, this energy, this honesty, this is emotional, again, responsibility I wrote there and I didn't realize, which is what the word Spirit was using earlier, within all the relationships, our responsibility within all our relationships. At the same time, we're being invited to lead with the heart and embrace our relationships and allow ourselves to be our authentic selves with the people who really do see us. And there's a reminder here that healthy relationships do not require you to diminish your light. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else or pretend to be not as great as you are. Because all of those things, when people see their own light, they can see yours too. Instead, this energy is encouraging you to be confident, creative, and have your personal expression. And so in your relationships, you're seeking spiritual love, that kind of connection that supports your soul evolution rather than simply just a temporary desire or expectation, understanding the deeper purpose behind your connections and allowing divine timing to reveal what comes next. Your personal focus for the week ahead, remembering that the Monday mantra is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. Your personal focus, your loyalty is to yourself this week. You are being encouraged to make choices that align with your truth, your values, and your future you wish to create. While it's important to consider others, this week's energy asks you to check in with yourself and honor what feels right for you. And with this full moon, for your personal focus, there's an opportunity for clarity where your energy is going, where your commitments are, and where your responsibilities belong. You may recognize areas where you've been making decisions based on obligation, expectation, or the needs of others rather than your own authentic desires. The full moon encourages you to choose what supports your long-term well-being and happiness. Mercury retrograde is also emphasizing the importance of reflecting in your personal world, because Mercury retrograde is usually all about the words reflecting, renewing, reevaluating before making significant decisions. Take the time to explore your feelings honestly. Are your choices coming from loyalty to your heart or from a sense of duty to keep others feeling comfortable? It's interesting, isn't it? We're taking, a catch up next week, which is so very Mercury retrograde, but it is that catching up of, what am I doing here? Who am I doing it for? This retrograde period invites you to revisit old patterns of people pleasing and redefine what healthy loyalty looks like. Fulfillment comes when your inner world and outer world are in harmony. So the decisions you make now have a ripple effect, and they ripple effect into your wider relationships and connections. So rather than sacrificing yourself for the happiness of others, consider how honoring your truth may ultimately create greater balance and authenticity for everyone involved. With Jupiter and Leo, it's a reminder to live from the heart. It's so interesting. I was in a meditation with my healer medium friend last week, and I saw myself feeding a baby lion cub. And Spirit was like, the courage to feed the lion, even though it's a baby and it could, yes, probably bite you. It's the courage to feed it. Courage, feed your courage is the message there. And so the more you honor your authentic path, you don't need to have permission to pursue what lights you up. The more your relationships and circumstances can align with who you are becoming, that's where we want to be with these choices, discerning. Loyalty begins within, in your personal focus. Being faithful to your values, your intuition, your soul's direction, and you create a strong foundation from which all other relationships can flourish. Are you loyal and responsible to yourself first? Make the choices that feel right in your heart. Trust what is being revealed to you, and know that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is an act of self-respect and spiritual integrity. Your professional focus for the week ahead, remembering that your Monday mantra lesson is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. In your professional world, it's a call to be more honest when it comes to your business, career, or professional goals. Growth is about maintaining, strengthening, and protecting what has already been built. So the focus is on the foundations of your work, the bread and butter of your business or where you work or what you're creating. Before looking towards no opportunities, take the time to ensure that what currently supports you is functioning effectively. Are there systems, clients, projects, or responsibility that require your attention? What needs to be maintained before moving forward? Reconsider your plans and your direction. You may feel uncertain about your next step or find yourself reviewing options that once seemed clear. Rather than reviewing this as a setback, or viewing this as a setback, see it as an opportunity to make more informed decisions. So I find it really interesting that we're, having this catch-up week next week, and, you're going to find yourself relating this to whatever you're doing. There is wisdom in pausing before committing to a new path. This message aligns with the Mercury retrograde energy because it's an ideal time to review, refine, revisit, aspects of your business or your professional world rather than going into major new ventures. So conversations, contracts, marketing strategies, long-term plans may benefit from a second look. Something important may be revealed through reflection. With the full moon, it's shining its light on your ambitions and your long-term goals. So you might receive more clarity about what is sustainable, what is no longer serving your success, and becoming more realistic and practical and willing to release structures that have outlived their purpose. Those ruins, breaking apart, it's done that way. This is the new way. At the same time, there is this opportunity for greater visibility, confidence, and creative leadership. With you being able to not lose sight of the greater vision, your vision quest for your purpose, which usually can be tied into your professional, what you choose to do work-wise. It might not, but it can be. There is growth available, but it comes through trusting your ability, showcasing your strengths, and allowing your authentic leadership, that really leading yourself to come about. True success is created through consistency, integrity, and stewardship. Interesting choice of word there. This week is not about chasing every opportunity that appears. It's about maintaining what is there, strengthening your foundations to make honest decisions and have the long-term health of your business or your career. When you care for what already sustains you, future growth has a strong and stable foundation upon which to flourish. Your body and health focus this week. Remembering your Monday mantra is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I am free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. Your body is asking you to release self-punishment and unrealistic expectations. There may be a tendency to focus on everything that you've not done yet, everything that is on your to-do list, or all the ways you feel like you should be doing more, but your body is reminding you that constant pressure is not the same as progress. So you might feel like you're defending your time or defending your energy and well-being from too many competing demands. And remember, this is about body and health. There may be the sense of having too many task responsibilities or expectations pulling you in a million different directions. And so rather than pushing harder, come into this healthy, established boundaries for your physical body, your physical needs, protecting yourself physically. So this is an important week to listen to your emotional and physical needs, stress, exhaustion, old habits of overextending yourself. You may become more they may become more apparent, so pay attention. But instead of criticizing yourself, it's not about what's not been accomplished. Take the opportunity to reflect on whether your expectations are realistic and are supporting your well-being. With the full moon, when it's on your body, are you carrying too much responsibility or placing unnecessary pressure on yourself? So you might recognize that some of the standards you are trying to meet no longer serve you. And as you encourage this movement with your body to shed and make choices that are balancing for you, it's releasing the burden of perfectionism and focusing on only what is essential. Reconnect with joy, vitality, self-expression. Your health goals, it's not about productivity. It's about allowing yourself to experience pleasure, creativity, laughter, and rest. Nourishing yourself is just as important as achieving your goals. So speak to your body with kindness. Acknowledge what you have achieved rather than focusing solely on what remains undone. Your body is not asking for pressure. It's asking for compassion, for balance, for respect of your own limits. So simplify where you can. Remember, caring for yourself is not a distraction from the core responsibilities, but it's allowing you to meet those responsibilities with strength and resilience. Your inner world this week, remembering that your Monday mantra is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I'm free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. Your inner world is undergoing that vision quest, that transformation still. And the fearless warrior in you is the person that backs themselves, that chooses their own path, that reminds you that there are moments in life when you must honor your truth. And even if it means stepping away from old expectations, roles, or identities, that's what needs to be done. Endings and profound changes are happening within. Remember, we're the signal. And we're having our vision quests. So a completion of a chapter, an opportunity to release what no longer aligns with who you are becoming, something within you is ready to shed so that a more authentic version of you can come out. And with the full moon, your inner world is showing you where you've been carrying responsibilities, commitments, or expectations that just don't fit your future anymore, what you're trying to, or what you're wanting to create, what you're trying to create. And so you might see within yourself what needs to end so that something can be more aligned. And with this communication review, reflect on your emotional needs, your past, your choices you've made because of expectations and obligations, and the desire to have everybody else feeling comfortable. And so as you revisit these old stories, just see whether they still belong to you, or you're ready to choose your own life. So this is not a week to make decisions solely on what others want from you. It's a week within your inner world to explore what you really desire without feeling pressured, obligated, or forced into a path that is not your own creation. If something feels restrictive, outdated, or disconnected from your authentic self, let it go with grace. And there's amplification on courage, on confidence in your choices, expressing yourself with your choices, and you're being asked to trust your heart and allow yourself to step into the empowered version of who you are. The future that is calling you forward requires you to release what no longer resonates. And that warrior spirit, that courageous one that backs themselves, is choosing yourself sometimes is the bravest act of all. So transformation is never comfortable. It hardly ever is comfortable, but it creates a space for possibilities, new experiences, and a life that feels genuinely aligned with your soul. Okay, I would like to pick a card now for all of us from this particular deck. After the forecast, because these cards always have amazing symbols too for us to interpret, what do we need to know in conjunction with the back yourself card, with the stairwell, walking up with two different doors for us to make a choice, but both are going to lead us to where we need to be? What do we need to know here? It's so fascinating. Look at this. So it's the man of the light and the shadow. He's got the scales of balance. And again, it's what I mentioned in this card too. One is going into the twilight night, one is going into the light. And this card, it's the symbol of air. So air is about communication. It's about receiving. It's about being open to this perspective shift. And it's interesting, it's the number 2. These are the number 2s. And our card is 12. Very fascinating. Now, before we integrate this lesson, we have got a few reminders. Now, we have built a beautiful app, and our community there is all over the world. You can join the group chat, share in your journeys. We've got homework that I set every week. We've spent years building this community. Now, I know many of you are waiting to see me, but there are other ways to connect with me. There are personalized meditation, soul magic, mini readings, and of course, contacting Kieran if you want to go on a wait list. The link is below, but you can email her at soul33@gmail.com. Now, let's integrate this lesson. We are now going to integrate this lesson. So if you are able to, please close your eyes and take this in like a meditation. How does it feel in the first person? Is it for you now? Is it for somebody else? Are you having resistance towards it? Is it something you need to remember for later on? I seem to want to be ahead, but ahead of what? When I get ahead, something brings me back. I seem to want to look back. This is why it happens. To see a few things before I choose the way forward again. Yet what I desire is to feel at peace with where I am. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't feel at peace. But I'm learning that every chapter has a purpose, even the ones I did not plan. Life will often present detours for me. It's part of the cycle, not because I've made a mistake, but to pay attention to a signal, but because there is something my soul is being asked to feel. The path may not always look the way I imagined. Things change, but I do not need to force the future. I do not need to return to who I used to be. I only need to trust the next step in front of me and make a choice of how I will be now. I am exactly where I am meant to be. Every choice I have made has brought me here. Every experience has shaped me. Every detour has revealed a reminder of what life is really about. I trust my choices as they are coming from who I am now and will take me to where I am meant to go. Now we're going to end our Monday mantra with a message from Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, I trust my choices above outside opinions, free to choose my path. Every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. Mary Magdalene, what do we need to know to end our Monday mantra today? Interesting. This means a lot to me because of what happened for me last week. Christ. Love knows only mercy. Love knows only mercy. So it's interesting. We had back yourself. We had the doorways. And we had the light and the shadow again. The choice of balance, perception, communication. Your Monday mantra is, I trust my choices above outside opinions. I am free to choose my own path, and every detour is leading me exactly where I am meant to be. Don't forget, we are not here next week, but the written Monday mantra and all your things will be on the app, but we will be back as normal when everyone's back on board. So we'll see you again soon.